Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Saturday night, new time. I am the host with the most, Dixie Dave, and the butthead over here, Crusher Crossen.
Oh,
We're
man.
live. We're happy to be here.
I don't have my aviators. I'll do these. There we go. How about this? Back to the shades. Yes. It's cool, Crusher Crossen. Saturday night. And this is a different day for us. We don't usually do this on Saturdays. But, yeah, I kind of like the shades. I don't know. What do you think, Dave? Shades, glasses, aviators?
I say just go natural. I mean, on here, you're not cool, Crusher.
Yeah, the reason Dave pointed in the right direction is because we corrected it before we come on air, and I got Dave to change the settings so that now he at least knows it's going right way. Yeah, there's a little setting that we have to modify for that. But yeah, it's Saturday. We got lots of comments, and I want to kind of get caught up on them, Dave. Let me just get caught up on them quick. First of all, Gizmo says, "Hey, Crusher, we all just wanted to thank you for the last show with Ricky. It was by far the best show the two of you have done. Even better than I think the best show Ricky and I ever done was our anniversary show, to be quite honest. And the very first interview I ever did with him. Those are my two favorite. But we liked the way you were out of, Ricky would get on you for that one. You were out of character and answered questions. Yeah, and me and Ricky have talked about it. We do. I mean, our kind of game plan is we start out in character and then we shift from there, depending on the trend of what we're talking about. And we'll just slip in and out of character. But yeah, we'll definitely come out of character more often. I think you guys like that, and I know he doesn't have a problem with it, and I don't have a problem with it. But with events that are going to come up here in the next month, we're going to be in a lot of character, though. I'm just going to forewarn you, there will be a lot of character talk coming up here, but we'll still be out of character from time to time as well. So, and obviously when we, going forward for next year and stuff, we'll definitely be doing a lot more out of character. So there's that. And Damien says, I agree with Gizmo. We all sat together in the studio and watched the entire episode again. We gained real insight into Ricky's real character and how Ireland handles things different than the USA. Yeah, I'm learning that myself, you guys. I remember I told you there was an incident that came up over there that got me really mad because I was being referenced the way I was referenced 20 years ago when I wrote my book. People were making accusations with me back then, and I get real offended. Well, that came up again, and I got really offended. And I've realized that over there, it's more of a joke. They do it jokingly, where over here, we take it more serious in the USA when it comes to those kind of accusations.
Right.
So, yeah. It's just different parts of the world, different situations, I agree. You need to do more shows, or at least part of your show out of character. It was fun, informative, and entertaining. Yeah. Getting I mean, it's more of a conversation, more of a down to earth. You're hearing us for who we are. I agree. Yeah, and Ricky, kind of went out of character because when he started watching his matches, he just went out of character because he had not seen him for a while, and he really was dissecting his own stuff. So he
which is common when you watch your own stuff back.
Yeah. Northside says, Sky Sports Video, I don't know why it doesn't show screen. Okay, I'm not going to show all this, but yeah, there is a reason why the handles come up the way they do now, and that's just a YouTube change. YouTube has changed things on their end. If you guys don't like the way your handle looks, you can go into your YouTube settings and change your @ handle to whatever you want. But they don't show channel names anymore. They show your @ handles now. So that's just a YouTube thing. So we'll skip over all that. And then here's a big question, Dave. Are you going to let us know when you're going back to Ireland? Boy, everybody wants to know that. That buzz is out there, Dave.
I know. I know that buzz is out there. I saw that. I'm even starting to get suspicious if you're going back to Ireland. Because, Crusher, you've known me damn near 40 years now.
Yep.
Next year's 40 years that you've known me. I come from a very large family.
Yeah, you do.
And you know I have family all over the U.S.
Yep.
You know I have family in Utah.
You do.
Yeah, I've been hearing some stuff. I've been hearing some stuff, but I'm not going to go too far into it right now.
I'm curious what you've been hearing.
I've been hearing that you've been seen at certain spots around town.
Oh, well, I'm always around town. Crusher Crossen gets around. What can I say?
Certain
Walk
spots,
2 miles a day.
Certain spots normally 50-plus-year-old men aren't at.
Well, yes, true. I go to the gym and I would do my workouts and everything. I agree.
Oh, there's lots of 50-year-old men that go to gyms and work out. I mean, hell, I got a cousin who is Mr. Minnesota and worked out right up until he died. So,
yeah.
But I mean, I don't want to say too much just in case I'm reading more into what they're saying.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I told you I'm preparing. I told you I'm getting ready for things. When Crusher Crossen gets ready, guys, I don't mess around. I take it very seriously, and I prepare, and I really prepare. And if that means I have to go and do some extravagant things, so be it. But that's what needs to happen. And I know that one Ricky Henry is that his curiosity is peaking to all-time highs with all the text messages I've been getting from him all week. So I'm sure he's
well,
Ricky, an all-time fever pitch.
Ricky, if you're watching this, get a hold of me. I'll spill the beans to you, but I don't want to say too much here on air.
Yeah.
I don't want to start gossip. I'm just saying.
Guys, there's going to be time is ticking here, and you're going to find out very soon. So just stay tuned. Just stay tuned. That's all I can say. Next question.
I think I know something, but I don't want to start a gossip mill, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, we can leave it there, I guess. I am surprised that everyone was able to make the day and time change. Looking forward to the show. Yeah, it's going to be a great show. We're going to watch a Dri-Dock episode from the Dri-Dock. And I forgot to mention this, and we talked about it last week or last time around, Dave, that we're going to see this Dri-Dock show. And I forgot all about this. Is the bloodbath from hell with me when I juiced and did it too deep. I had to go get the stitches. Yeah, not good. Not good. But yeah, we'll see that restored now. Let's see. And then let's see, getting caught up. Everybody's kind of chatting with each other. Look at back again, King Coop. Look at that. I like the new picture too. King Coop's looking good. Does a lot of workouts himself. I'm following King Coop on Instagram now, so I see a lot of his stuff. And said he's missed us. We missed you too, King. And I've been busy just like you, trying to get myself in shape. King, I'm preparing for something that just hasn't been quite announced yet. And there's a reason I'm getting in shape, and I guess you can just make do with that.
Yeah.
He says, great to see y'all. The past few months for me have been hectic. Yeah, I know. And really, honestly, right now, with everything I'm doing and my preparation, I have like very little time anymore for anything. It's amazing how when you get yourself so busy, there's just no more time. Like time becomes a thing that I don't have.
Well, when you get older, time becomes your enemy.
But I'm just doing so many things. I go to the gym every single day. There's other things I'm doing as well, and getting myself ready, and I'll just say that. It's just eating up all my time. And yeah. But he says, and he's happy to see us all again. Yeah, we're happy to see you too, King Coop. It's great. King Coop is one of the regulars that used to always tune in and watch with us. And I hope you would tune in more, King Coop. It's always fun to get your comments and stuff as we watch these shows. And this is one of the later shows, so it's going to be more professional style indie wrestling type wrestling. It ain't going to be us kids. But this is where we evolved to. This is what we got to. So it's kind of like all the hard work that we did all those times as kids, which looked like we're just screwing around sometimes. But man, there was a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and this was the end development of it, a full-blown indie promotion, really.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure I'd say that this is the pot of gold. Because,
well, I mean, as far as polished look of wrestling.
Right.
That's what I mean by that.
I mean, to me, it could have been so much better if all of us kids would have stuck with it. And
yeah, it would have been. It would have been different. I mean, we could have done things differently for damn sure. Yeah. I mean, I wish I would have never sold the league. I wish I would have kept control of it. Still did the Dri-Dock, but me owning the league. That would have been a whole different thing if that happened that way. The only problem is I didn't have any way to move the ring around. That was the problem at the time. I didn't have a trailer or truck or anything.
Right.
King Coop says, Crusher Crossen, looking great, buddy. Thanks a lot, King Coop. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of hard work. You know, I diet, exercise, everything. I've talked about it on the shows, and currently I'm at a 17.8% body fat. I track everything with the Human Fitness Band, and I have a Human Body Scale, so it measures all that stuff.
Right.
And and that's like an all-time low for me. You know, anytime you get into the teens in body fat, you're doing pretty good. And my skeletal muscle mass has been increasing. You know, I'm starting to get, you know, in shape. So, and there's a method to my madness. That's all I can say, guys.
I don't know. I thought
some people think I'm kind of getting a heel tone with Ricky. I've heard that from some of the guys in sports crew and Gizmo's crew, thinking I'm going to be a little bit of a heel. No, I'm not being I'm not being a heel with Ricky. I'm just being direct with him. I'm giving it back to him because I'm getting tired of hearing him calling me Schmucker Crossen and not giving me any credit for 5 times.
Common heel speech.
So I got to get Ricky. You fight fire. Crusher Crossen from day one has always fought fire with fire. If he's going to give it to me, I'm going to give it to him right back. That's the way it works.
You know, typical, like I said, typical heel speech.
And then King Coop says, Dixie Dave, great to see you again.
Great to see you too, my friend.
King Coop says, I know, right? I'm happy to be here. Yeah. And here's Wayne. Wayne McCarty. At least he fixed it. Even though I don't know it's Wayne. It says Wayne McCarty. He fixed his handle. Dave pointed in the right direction. Yep. He's talking about the camera pointing. And then Sports Tech says, Crusher, the first thing you need to do is change your photo for Rewind. We have changed a lot for the positive. I did change my photo for Rewind. Didn't you see it? I was updated. So my photo for Rewind's updated on that startup and everything. Is that what you're talking about? Or is there some photo somewhere else I need to change? Gotta clarify that. King Coop says, I agree. Sports Talk Crusher looks to be healthy and in better shape, and that's a good thing to see. Yeah, for anybody, anytime you can get yourself in good shape and improve yourself physically and mentally, it's healthy. It's healthy for you.
Right.
And I'm always a fan of that. You know, Ricky just recently started going to the gym again. I have to think I influenced him a little bit there, because man, all of a sudden, since I did it, both him and John are hitting the gym. But you know what? I'm not going to diss him on it, because that's a good thing. That's a good thing for anybody. Everybody should be doing it. Yeah, there's nothing bad about that. Yeah, and then Wayne was saying he changed his handle. Yep, so you can do it. And Wayne, if you don't mind, tell everybody where you go to change that handle, because I know YouTube can be a confusing mess for people to try to figure that out. So if you don't mind, if you can tell us how you did it, that'd be great. Or where exactly it is in settings. Because I'm sure there's people that want to change their handle when they see it the way it shows up. King Coop says, well, in due time, we'll find out what your big announcement is. Actually, in time, this is going to come fairly quickly here. So I would say that, by the time we get into December, you're going to know some things. So let's just keep track of that. And then I'm just trying to get caught up.
I see.
Oh, he says, I see your arm is bruised, and I have with my high school wrestling kids. Looks like someone's been. Oh, you mean this here? I just slipped on the carpet there and got a little burn there. Not much there. That's not.
When people get old, they fall. You know, I mean, he's got to be careful not to break a hip.
No, I don't got to break a hip. People got to be careful. People got to get out of my way is what they got to do. Because look, as I get myself in physical shape, I feel like I could lift the building, Dave. So, yeah, I mean, I just got to get ready.
More comments coming in, Crusher.
Yeah, they keep coming in. Go on your YouTube channel. Okay, so Wayne says, go to your YouTube channel customization. So if you go to customization, that's where you should see your handle. And then you can change it there for those of you who want to change it. And then Gizmo says, on your bicep, on my bicep? Oh, right here.
Yeah, I do see it.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Anyway, who knows? It's just a marker. I think it's a marker. Yeah, it's a marker. I was messing around with paint or something. I don't know. I'm not going to tell. And by the way, somebody said, like, when are we going to Ireland? You know, I'll only say this. You know, I was talking about a lot of dates on the last Forward show. 2026 is going to be a big year, guys. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
2026.
I know I'm staying right here in the good old US of A.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to make a trip out there. And I will say this, guys. You know, this is for sure. and Ricky is his own person to blame, because Ricky, remember guys, it was Ricky that said, I can take Crusher in a shoot, no problem. No problem. He's too old. I can take him, no problem. That was Ricky Henry. So Ricky's got his own self to blame when we do shoot, when I come out there, back-to-back shooting their training deals. We'll see what he's got. And lunch is riding on that too, because whoever loses has to buy the winner lunch. So I'm going to get a free McDonald's out of that, because I'm not going to. Ricky's not got a bunch of money, Crusher. So I'll have to be McDonald's. What's that?
You know, Crusher, when you're going to Ireland, you don't go to Mac and Cracks.
I know, but I'm not going to make the kid buy me a steak dinner. Or a steak, expensive lunch.
You know, just order some typical Ireland food.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and then again, though, who knows? You know, the trouble with when you, like, Ricky's 18 now, and, you know, he's at the prime of his youth, you know, so it's like, it's not easy either. Like, you know, that's why I don't make bold predictions like he did. He's pretty confident, like, he thinks he can, but I'm not going to be that foolish to make that kind of bold prediction. I will tell you this is what I will predict. I'll do my, when we do this back-to-back shoot, we'll film it, I'm sure, but I'll give him everything I got. Guarantee you.
You know, we got another comment that came in.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm correct, this beautiful shirt is available, isn't it?
Yeah, you can get that on the NWFshop.com. NWFshop.com is where all those shirts and hats, and we have NWF Forward hats now too, which are really cool. I got to get an NWF Rewind hat done too.
Yeah.
But they're caps. I don't have it up here right now, but they're kind of cool, and lots of cool shirts and stuff. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Got 2 Armory shirts up there so far: Summer Sizzler and Superstars Spectacular 86. We still got to get the other 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll get up there eventually. King Coop says Ricky wrote a check. His butt can't cash. Well, I don't even know if he has a checking account. But I know he has enough money for McDonald's, because he earns enough on doing the lives, because I pay him and Dave a cut of all of our ad revenue from YouTube, so they get a bit of it. And any subscriptions that we get on YouTube, so they all get to share that. And the idea is that they both help promote it then as much as they can. Right. And Ricky's got to do a better job of that, though. He hardly ever promotes our YouTube stuff. I mean, he does, but he doesn't. Like he'll always post the stuff I send to him to share, you know, to link up. But I wish he would do a little more with it, because we need to get the more people we get watching, the more ad revenue we get. So even if they watch it in replay, so always helps. But yeah, so it's going to be kind of fun times, and like, we'll just see. I know you guys are all in suspense and wondering, and like they said, though, you know, they like seeing me and Ricky out of character. I'm just going to tell you this, though. With everything that's funneling down the tracks, you're going to see a little more character out of us than, leading up to what's... I'll just say that. That. What's that, Dave?
Well, I was just going to say, for Crusher and I, it's not so much about the money why we do this show.
No,
we started this show to tell our story, to tell what we did.
Yeah, to explain what we did in the past, because it was a pretty unique thing, right? We all agree. Right. It was like nobody was doing anything like this in the 80s.
No. At least not to the level, kids were having fun with wrestling.
Yeah.
But they weren't doing it to the extreme of producing TV shows and
every single week in several markets and doing live events, not just one or two, but several. Yeah.
You got to remember, folks, we did this for, Sean did, Crusher did this for 4 years.
Well, at least the NWF side of it. And there's another 3. I mean, I wrestled for 7 years.
Yeah.
There's the PWA stuff, which is a couple years, year and a half. Yeah. So actually NWF was longer because it was actually went into 88. So 84 to 88. That's really 5 years. And yeah, so then I like a couple years with Eddie Sharkey. So yeah, it was a lot of stuff. And I wish I had more of the footage from Eddie Sharkey, though. See, the trouble, Eddie didn't always tape his events, and I didn't tape them. So it was always hard to get copies when they were taped. So I don't even have everything. I only have a few matches, really, from the PWA days.
Right.
He just didn't, a lot of the stuff he did. And then the other venues we do, nobody was taping them. The things like out in Shakopee, I forget where we were. There's a couple other events we did in different places. It just didn't always get recorded, though. So there's that.
Right.
I still think back to the time. I can remember the conversation, Dave, when I was in the locker room down there at George's and Fridley when Ray Webby,
Little Debbie, Ray Webby.
Rest in peace. He was such a good guy.
Yeah.
Everybody liked Ray. Ray was the Wally Carbo of the PWA. He was the likable guy. Anyways, he came up to me in the locker room and he said, it was after my match, I think, and I don't even know what match it was. And anyways, he came up to me and he says, tell me it was a good match and everything. And he said, and Ray was the booker. He's the one that booked these matches and stuff. Eddie promoted the shows, but Ray booked the matches. And Ray did a thing called Wrestle for Shelter. Wayne, you probably remember those. It was a fundraiser. And he goes, I got Wrestle for Shelter coming up this year, and I think that you and Sean Waltman would be an excellent match. Would you want to wrestle him for that show? Would you be interested? And I said, yeah, I'll do it. Now, remember, when I said I'd do it. Ray could have said any name in there, and I would have said yes.
Right.
I just loved getting in the ring and doing it.
And at this point, Waltman was not.
Nah, he wasn't like, oh, God, Sean Waltman, yeah, I want to have a match with him. No, nobody knew he was going to be a big star.
No.
So,
I viewed him as another good wrestler, but too small.
Yeah, small like me. What I seen, though, is I knew that Waltman was very similar to me, style-wise. Right. The only thing he did different that I didn't do was that little spinning kick thing he did.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that. He was more aerial than you were.
Well, I was aerial, just not in the way he was.
Right.
Like, I'd go off the top rope a lot, right? I mean, back in the PWA days, I was doing the clothesline off the top rope. And I wasn't doing it Kane style. I was landing like an airplane.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that today. but yeah, anyways. But yeah, so it was.
Well, if the rumors I hear are true, you may as well try it.
Well, wait a minute. Why do I get this comment on? So we get rid of that. But yeah, so just, and then looking back now that at hindsight, now the reason it never happened was because then me and Eddie Sharkey had a kind of a falling out in a sense. You know, I didn't know why, but he didn't want me at the shows anymore. And it turned out later, I found out later on as I talked to other people and talked with Eddie, it had nothing to do with, it was the fact that I moved to Wisconsin and I was too far away, and he just didn't want me to come part-time. He'd rather me be there all the time. Right. So that just, it wasn't, he didn't like the long distance travel. He felt it was also, I was just too, you know, when you got to drive 3 or 4 hours and just have 15 minutes, get in the ring and wrestle, you're not at the best. You're not prepared.
Right.
So I, you know, now as I think back, I think that kind of makes sense. So because of that, I just ended up leaving the wrestling business at that point. And everybody was telling me I was too small too. And I was hearing all that stuff. And I got so tired of hearing that. And at that time period, I probably was too small. So, you know, and you hear it, you have to hear it enough. It's like, all right, fine, whatever. I'm too small then, I guess, you know, and because like everybody in the indie business that starts out, you have aspirations to get to the big time, whether that be the AWA, the NWA, the WWF. That's where you want to get. And I did too. I had those same dreams and aspirations. That's where I wanted to get. But if everybody's telling me I'm too small to get there, then what am I doing this for? That was my thinking back then. So, you know, that's my one regret. I wish I could go back and change all that, because look what Waltman did. Waltman didn't listen to him and he made it.
Right.
So good for him. You know, that's all I can say. So that was just something.
A shame. It's just a shame that he didn't remember all the people that helped him on his way up.
Yeah, Waltman seems to forget a lot of us back in the PWA. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I saw him right after he went to Global down in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I'd talk to him every time Fridley happened.
Right.
And even at that point, he seemed to have no recollection of ever seeing me and Fridley.
Yeah. That's what happens. Sometimes people get, you know, big like that, and then they just seem like, well, whatever. Everything else, these guys didn't mean much. They never made it, so screw them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
some people get like that.
I hate to say it, I think I made Fridley more than you did.
Well, yeah, because I didn't make it all the time. Because remember, Eddie Sharkey would never use me and Waltman on the same show.
Right.
He always alternated us. That's why I'd go every other Fridley.
Right.
And Waltman would go on the ones in between. Because Eddie didn't want to have too many small guys on the show. That, again, guys, this was you had to be a big guy.
You know, we're talking 88, 89.
89, yeah.
Into the 90, and it was a big man's business back then.
Right. So having one small guy on the show is all really Eddie wanted to do. And that is another reason I think why Eddie was thinking to, you know, me in Wisconsin, you already have Sean Waltman now. That's pretty much my same gimmick. Waltman's gimmick and my gimmick were so similar. And he just didn't need both of us.
Right.
So, and the fact that I was out of the area, it made sense. It really made sense. I really don't blame Eddie for making that decision to do that. I don't. And besides, I was hearing it from my dad especially. My dad was so worried I was going to get hurt. Because my dad knew it was a big man's game.
Right.
And here I am at $150, you know, smallest guy there. Yeah. Waltman was maybe 10 pounds heavier. Maybe.
Yeah, I still remember the first time him coming out of the crowd.
Yeah.
That's how they played it.
Coming out of the crowd, yeah.
You know, basically what the deal was is you weren't there. Troy was in the ring. They billed it that you weren't unable to make it for the night, and they wanted Troy to have a match.
Was that what they did? Is that how they did it?
Yeah.
I know, because I knew he went up against Waltman then, yeah.
And
Troy's got that on video.
Yeah. I'm sure he does.
At least hopefully he saved it.
You just got to pry it from the vault that he's got, you know.
I know. I wish we could get Slickster on the show with us. That'd be a great thing. But we've been chatting, Dave, for 35 minutes. We haven't even started the show, and everybody wants to watch the show. Let's get the show going, you guys. And then we'll keep chatting away.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let us know if the audio is good as usual.
Yep.
Because we want to know that.
You know, but like I said, Troy pointed out to Waltman and said, yeah, I'll take him.
Yeah. Now, I remember the conversation in hearing about Troy telling me what happened in the locker room and all that thing with Waltman. Eddie wanted Waltman to go over. And Troy stood up. He said, no. He goes, Eddie, that's bullshit. There's no way I'm going. He just got here. He goes, I've been busting my ass for 3 months. You're going to kill my gimmick. Why should I kill my gimmick for this? No. Troy stood up for himself, and good for him. Sometimes you got to do that.
Yep.
I don't have a problem with that. So yeah, we're at the Dri-Dock, 1988.
And it looks like we got to look at those darn Russians again.
Yeah, as miserable as that will be.
I apologize in advance, folks.
And we're going to see Crusher Crossen juice way too deep, guys. Some forewarning right now. Jeff Dinsmore.
Yep.
It's a little dark, but it'll get better as the show goes on. They just have to adjust the cameras in the van.
Okay, we got a question for you, Crusher.
Yeah, let's see. Crusher, how old were you? How old were you in when this was filmed? I was 1988. I had just turned 18. I was 18 years old, same age as Ricky right now.
Okay.
All right, we're back with our first match.
Yeah, got rid of the public service announcements.
Match coming up first. We have a challenge, what's called an arm wrestling challenge.
Yes, it's always fun having arm wrestling challenges. Dave, why don't they do that anymore in wrestling? That was fun. That was a fun gimmick.
I have no clue.
It was always a great way to get heat. You get your heel to get heat. They cheat. They do everything they can. Remember the Ken Patera and Hulk Hogan arm wrestling stuff in the AWA? That was great. It was great. Yeah.
I still say that ref looks like the voice of Minnesota wrestling who refuses to acknowledge us.
Yeah, the voice of Minnesota wrestling doesn't ever want to talk about us, but what can you say?
You know, hey, he may be the voice of Minnesota wrestling.
Okay, welcome
but
to NWF Wrestling.
Our league has now gone international, so
yeah, our brand has gone international.
We're doing
yep.
Commentary for you tonight. First match is an arm wrestling challenge between Rick Pitts from Coon
so you know, I guess we've outgrown him.
Strongest man in the NWF, the Bandit.
That's right, Chris. The Bandit's arms look in pretty good shape. Looks like he's been in the weight room working out. It should be interesting.
So Rick Pitts used to still referees. He is now wrestling as well. Yeah, Rick just wanted to get in the ring and wrestle as well. So it's very common for referees to do that, right?
So
ref, and then they become a wrestler. Common thing. And the Bandit, he was pretty green, but
psych tactic on his part. He's just trying to get the Bandits going and make him a little nervous.
Okay, they're gonna lock hands. Referees, no. Pitts isn't ready yet.
That one.
Rick wants the other hand.
Left hand. He wants to challenge with the left hand.
Bandit's not exactly backing away from that.
But his thumb is taped on his left hand, if you'll notice.
I don't know if that's going to give him any extra advantage or not.
Or could it be a disadvantage?
I don't know. We'll
Yeah, this is cool. Great shot, too, of it.
No?
Great shot by our NWF camera crew.
Yep.
Pitts is still stalling there, Chris.
See, this is what you do, though. See how he's building up all the heat? Crowd getting into it. This is what makes it fun.
Exactly, you know. Gets the fans pissed off at him, and
still stalling. This is a psych tactic from both of them. Okay, they lock up. Looks like they're finally ready, and here we go.
Wayne's asking,
From here.
is that a softball player gimmick? I don't know if he was going for a softball player gimmick, but it kind of looks like it.
Oh, wait a minute. I think
He grabbed
the table.
I couldn't tell from our
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was the gimmick. I don't remember on that one, Wayne, but I think he does have that softball player look.
Bandit still has Pitts is playing the same game.
The only thing they did wrong is they should have really prolonged this a little bit more. They kind of go quick with it.
Bandit's got him down.
yeah.
He's moving him. Pitts moving him back.
And Bandit isn't really selling this very well. Look at him. You should have more of a... Come on, you're in an arm wrestling match.
Both hands on that.
Really show it in your face a little bit better there, but...
Yeah, unfortunately the referee didn't see it, or else he would have called it right now.
Pitts is doing extremely well.
Pitts seems like he's selling pretty good.
See, that was weak. He should have hit him better. That was a bad hit.
Yeah.
Oh, into the table and back over the chair. Look out. Look out. Now Bandit just leveled him, and he's going to leave the ring in a hurry.
Always fun, though. Arm wrestling matches. The very first thing I did for NWF before the NWF was even created, I used a Super 8 camera, had a Super 8 camera, film camera, and I did we did an arm wrestling challenge in my basement where we did the show initially.
Yeah.
And an arm wrestling challenge with me and Ted Walter. I don't know if Wayne remembers Ted Walter. He's in our school. And me and him had this arm wrestling challenge, and Bill Gibbons was involved in that, and Chris Daniels, Jason Millard, a bunch of us involved in that. And that was like 2 years before the NWF got formed. So I was only 12 years old when I did that. I still have that on Super 8, silent, no audio, but. And we did an arm wrestling gimmick. We kind of did the whole Hulk Hogan Kempatera reenactment.
Right.
That had just happened on the AWA.
Along with a guy that's been around a while, the team of Crusher Crossen and the Equalizer.
So here we go, Crusher Crossen and the Equalizer. And the reason, like, again, I was helping train the Equalizer in this point in time. He's brand new. So they wanted me to tag with him and then really just have him come in and showcase a few moves because Equalizer didn't know nothing yet. So I had to basically be in the ring the whole time. This is one of these tag matches where I'm pretty much in the ring all the time. Then I tag him in at the end, just to give him some spots.
Here comes Crusher Crossen and the Equalizer. And they get a big rousing applause from audience.
He's a good kid, though. He had a good head. You know, he's a very nice guy, Equalizer.
Right.
I forget his name. He's a nice kid. He listened well when I was trying to show him things. You know, I just showed him basic stuff, like how to body slam, how to clothesline, just basic stuff. Just to get him, just to show him enough to get him into a match. Of course, me and Leslie had no problem working together. That's the mystery man in the red.
Yeah.
We always work together well.
We'll see here. Mystery man in there. And Crusher Crossen.
I see one problem with the kid right now.
What's that?
He's the ex-world champion.
He doesn't have the tag rope.
Oh, the Equalizer?
Yep.
Yeah, he probably doesn't know. I don't even know if we had talked about that with him.
With a chop across the chest.
Of course, I don't see the tag ropes on the ring right now. I don't know why. Tim doesn't have one either.
Backs him into the corner. Sets him up. Irish whip into the turnbuckle. Comes out. Crossen setting him up. Goes for a flying clothesline and misses. It hits the elbow.
Of course, our ring here is a 20-foot ring. Very big ring for a small place like this.
Yeah.
Throwing him in his own corner. Sets him up. Hip toss. Nice hip toss. Mystery man takes him down. Takes him again. Another hip toss.
That would have been a good spot for the kid to tag in.
Crossen blocks that one. Sets him up. No, blocked again. What?
You know, sorry, just
Look out.
ring psychology.
Yeah.
That's a move that you made famous, Mike.
Fantastic move by Crusher Crossen.
Looped right over, got out of an atomic drop.
Here's my neck breaker. That's the Rick Rude style.
Yep.
The drop down, you just drop on your butt neck breaker. That's the way I like to do it. Not doing the elbow drop right. I should have been doing it the other direction. You never want to elbow drop with your feet to to the other guy's feet. That looks shit. That looks shitty. Let's do it the other way.
The second rope comes out. Whoa, big clothesline. Big clothesline.
Clothesline off the second.
Sets him into an arm lock.
Is that what you were talking about landing like an airplane?
Well, yeah, that's a typical landing I do, and I pretty much land like that when I do it off the top rope too. You know, I wouldn't. You know how Kane does it, right? He comes on his feet and then rolls.
advantage.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can keep it
Yeah,
going.
I would kind of land
I've got to
on
see
my
the
side
Equalizer in the ring.
and then
Let's
kind of
have
roll, I
couple
guess,
singles. Let's
a
see what
little
kind of
bit,
team player he is.
or wherever my body
Now,
momentum would
Crossen in the
go.
ring right now, his advantage is to, I would assume, to keep the Mystery Man off the mat.
This move I've never seen done very lot. It's basically it's a flying head scissors takedown.
Nice heads.
You don't see that very much.
Advantage is speed
Nope.
and agility.
So,
You can use that.
and you keep them in the head scissors. It's not like the hurricanrana or the flying head scissors where you throw the guy like a hurricanrana. It's more of just a head scissors takedown.
Referee check if it's a
Very old school.
airway. Bridge. He's going to try and bridge out. No bridge. Referee still asking him. He's still trying to bridge out, and he's not making it. Now the Destructor, one of the Destructors is up on the ring apron. Referee
These spots are so crucial in the match, you guys. This is what we call a rest hold. This is where we
Yep.
catch our breath. 3-point stance leg drop. That's another one you don't see, Dave, very much.
He didn't cover him. He
Owen
should
Hart
cover
style.
him.
Yep. I was just going to say, you haven't seen that since Owen Hart.
Yeah. But remember, I didn't learn this from Owen Hart. That was me. Owen Hart,
Yep.
I didn't know Owen Hart in 1988.
Lawler fist drop.
Yeah, Lawler fist
I
drop.
don't know if the Mystery Man knows where he is. He has desperate need to tag off to his partner right now.
Cross done a good job keeping him in his half of the ring.
I don't understand the logic behind that. He just took him into his own corner and let him tag.
Yeah, I know. That's not a good logic. I don't know why I did that.
Terrific, Tim.
Now we'll see how Tim fares up against Crusher Crossen. Oh, big
People
arm.
love giving me the hip toss because I could get up so high with it.
Yeah. Now, who's this Tim guy?
Terrific Tim. Passed away a couple years ago.
Can't really see.
Nice.
Had some heart issues.
Oh, big clothesline.
Clothesline.
Ooh.
I did not land right there. Almost got whiplashed.
Underneath the chin there.
Yeah.
Crossen desperately
So now I'm tagging off Equalizer. This is where Equalizer gets his spot.
Crossen equalizes in a terrific
Like I said, he's just been showing enough to be dangerous.
locking him up. Throws him to the ropes. Comes up. Whoa! Oh! Big clothesline.
A lot of power from the Equalizer thus far.
Built like a
Built
rock,
real
though.
well. Scoops him up. Press. He presses him up and over and just drops him down just like that.
Just
That almost
showcasing
looked like
his,
his arm gave out.
yeah,
Pulls him up.
just showcasing his strength. Really. Now here's where they attack me, guys. This is where I get busted open.
That was a three. No, wait a minute. There's a chair.
You'll see the Destructors and the Mystery Man triple team me.
They have no business in there.
with
Wait
the
a minute,
chair.
Crusher Crossen. Look out, they're hitting him in the midsection with the chair. Oh, and across the head and out of the ring.
So I just got hit across the head with the chair.
Now, he went after the referee and decked him. Ring the bell.
All
Keep
chaos
ringing
is breaking out
it.
here.
Referee finally gets a chair away from him, and now the Equalizer's back in the ring. And he goes after Terrific Tim, and they're going at it. Look out, we've got a dog fight. They're ringing the bell, but it's not doing
Crossen's
good.
bleeding.
See, that's what you. This is another thing I missed, Dave. The bell continually ringing when shit gets out of hand.
Yep.
It's so great. It's so great.
I think Crossen split open, and he just hit the ring post. Crossen is split open. The Equalizer's cleared the ring, but that does not help Crusher Crossen at this
Now,
point.
there's not a lot of good camera shots in my cut, but you will see it here.
The referee trying to clear the area.
Just got to kind of
Ringing the
look
bell's not
close
gonna
at
do
my
any good. Let's get
forehead.
the official word. By
What is the official word here? Who's the winner? Look out, get the chairs on him.
Crossen doesn't want to let this one end.
What I should have did was a damn interview. You know, if I did this to myself, I should have showed it on camera. You can see the blood just pouring from my forehead.
Okay, ladies and
And
gentlemen, we'll be right
Yeah.
I get a good shot of it right here. It's just like a waterfall of blood. And I know I've told the story before, Dave, but I then, you know, kind of being helped to the back there. And when I got to the back, I looked in the mirror and I seen my skin just separated and I could see my skull.
Yeah.
And I knew this was bad.
We've had a few comments come in since.
Let's see. Okay, so Wayne wants to know, how long did your partner last in wrestling? The Equalizer? I don't know. Because I ended up leaving the NWF a few months after this, and he still kept doing it. And I don't know how long he stuck with it. But I do know that his priorities was bodybuilding. His bodybuilding was his first priority in life. But that was
Right.
more important to him than wrestling. He was into bodybuilding.
They are here, aren't they?
So I do remember that. That was a big deal. And he also played football, I believe. So there's that too.
Everybody to stand, please.
And then Gizmo says, I think Crusher Crossen would beat the Globetrotter. Showmanship is where you beat Ricky. What do you mean by the showmanship? Like, you mean like showmanship in the ring or showmanship in my interviews or?
They want to come out second. All right.
You know, Ricky's a pretty good showman himself.
Gentlemen, none other than the NWF
I'm not going to take nothing away from Ricky on that.
and the Predator.
But yeah, clarify that one, Gizmo. Crusher, how old are the other wrestlers in this match? The one we just watched? Mystery Man was like a little younger than me, maybe a year or two. Maybe a year. I was 18, Mystery Man's probably 17. Equalizer, I know that he was 16. My partner. And then Terrific Tim,
Okay, we're back. And this
he
is
was
gonna be a very
around
difficult
17
match.
himself.
Mike and I
So like maybe a year younger than me. So we're all pretty much the same age.
And the Predator to go up against the Russian
Honestly, all of
Scorpion.
us. 17 to 18.
rather have ourselves.
Tony! Tony's in the house.
Why don't you tell them the story?
Okay, for those
Gizmo,
of
don't
you
be
who
silly. No
know,
universe would
my partner Mike
Crusher
and I
and Ricky
knows
be in the
this.
same ring at the same time, and somehow if Crusher travels to that universe, he will never beat the Globetrotter Ricky, the fanboy himself. You know, Tony, I know what you're doing here, Tony. You're just trying to get me all riled up like you do on every show. But you know what? I'm not going to let Tony do that. But just know this. I'm not the one that's not willing to admit to get in the ring with Crusher and I'll never agree to it. Your boy Ricky won't agree to it. I would go in the ring with him anytime, any place, you name it. It's Ricky that's running from Crusher, not Crusher running from Ricky. So remember that, fanboy.
Well, you see, Tony, you got to admit, the whole reason Ricky doesn't want to get in the ring with Crusher is he doesn't want to get arrested there in Ireland.
How's he going to
for
get arrested
abusing
for
a
abusing
senior
senior
citizen.
citizen? How's that going to happen? In a professional wrestling match. Nice try, Dave.
You know, he injures you in the ring. He goes to prison for injuring a senior citizen.
No. You know what it is?
I mean, come on, Crusher.
Dave, let me tell you
Crusher,
the truth.
admit it. You can go to Denny's and order off the senior menu now.
Dave, does it look like I go to Denny's on a regular basis?
No, I'm just
Does
saying.
it look like I go to Denny's on a regular basis? No, I don't go to Denny's. Now listen here. Let me tell you this. I know what Ricky's afraid of. He hasn't faced anybody that's had that championship 5 times. And he knows damn well that if I get in the ring with him
You've lost
and I have an
5
opportunity,
times,
I would
and you'll
take
get
that
beat
belt
again.
from him, and he is worried that he would lose that championship. That's exactly why he keeps ducking and dodging. And maybe there's a respect thing too. I might say that. There could be a lot of things. All of the above.
You know, he doesn't want to injure the man that
Tony, get me all
brought him
riled up
some-
here. Tony, get me riled up.
brought him some things.
Let's see. Tony's getting me all riled up here.
Gizmo made a comment here.
I love the way you perform your wrestling moves, Gizmo says. I think you have a bigger repertoire of moves than Ricky has right now. I appreciate the comment, Gizmo, but I have to say I disagree because I don't know a lot of what Ricky knows. Ricky knows a lot more modern stuff that I do not know. There's so many variations of modern moves now and everything, and Ricky knows a lot of them. But let me just say this. I will say this, though, Gizmo. I think the moves I do, I perform very well.
You know, I kind of like this that they're up against the Predator and Big Griggs.
So Grizzly Stevens, excellent in the ring. The guy with the beard and he's the partner of the guy in the camouflage. Real good guy. Predator, he was a bouncer in a bar. Just getting into wrestling right now, so he's kind of green, but good guy. Real good guy. I like both of these guys. They're really nice. When I do my stuff at George's and Philly, the PWA with Eddie Sharkey and that, Predator would always be at every one of my cards there, every one of the shows, and I always talked to him in the crowd when I was done. I always liked him.
Yeah.
Always got along with him.
And then Tony, seen that Crusher's trying to censor you.
And what they're trying right now is to find out.
It says it's not safe for you to be in the ring. We cleared this up before, Crusher. If you take a bump, you're going to put your back out and you can't work a match in 2025. You know, Tony, you say this, but what are you basing this on? Have you seen me? Have you seen me in a ring? Have you seen? I mean, yeah, it's just a good talking point, but you have nothing to base this on. And so I don't know where you're coming up with this accusations. I know that. Let me just say this: if I get in the ring, Tony, I'll be prepared. You can be rest assured of that. If you cheated your way into Ireland and cheated your way through a match and somehow by some miracle beat Ricky for the title, would you start wrestling actively again? Please don't. It's not safe for you. Well, Tony, you'll just have to stay tuned to see what happens, I guess, because all your questions will be answered very soon as far as if I'll get back in the ring again and if I'll do anything again. Yet to be determined. Just say that. But Tony, you seem to be very concerned. You're just like Ricky. You're very concerned. I think you're afraid I'm going to beat your #1 fanboy. That's what I think it is, Dave. I think Tony's afraid I'm going to beat his #1 fanboy. I think that's what it is. We got to get Tony on forward and maybe clear that up.
So you're saying you think Tony views Ricky as a hero?
Oh, I know he does. He's even said as much. He got inspired by him just knowing what Ricky did when he started. You know, for Tony's seen Ricky wrestling when Ricky was 14. So what do you think? Obviously, that had a big influence on him. It would have an influence on anybody. So yeah. So he's look. I'm not going to criticize him for cheering his fanboy, but I'm going to call him out on it. Yeah, it looks like we got the nice blue canvas for this ring right now, too. It's not the tarp. It's the nice blue canvas.
Right.
Nice, rich blue look. Good canvas. Fireman carry takedown.
Does not know where he is at this point.
You know, Tony, I hate to admit it, I agree with you. At his age, being a senior citizen, Crusher should not be getting in a ring again.
Dave, the only person here that shouldn't get in a ring again is yourself.
Hey, I've never even attempted to try and get into a ring. I know my body's not in shape for the ring right
Dave,
now.
do you think it's safe to be saying these things with everything I've done? If I listened to people like you, the NWF would have never got anywhere. I always defeat the odds. I always defeat the odds. Always.
You say if you listen to me, you'd never make it anywhere. It's thank God you listen to me. Otherwise, you wouldn't have this podcast. You wouldn't have Forward.
That one little thing you can hang your hat on. Yes, you're right. See, Wayne's got a question. He says, "Are these the same crappy Russians that no soul for you?" They sure are.
Yep.
Remember, one of those crappy Russians, though, Wayne, is Dirty Ernie. He's one of the guys. But the crappy one, for sure, is the one in the ring right now. That used to call him a tomato. Because he looked like a tomato when he had the red out single on. But yeah, this is the Russian bear and the Russian beast. This is the Russian bear. And Steve Payette was his name, I believe. And he was just... Notice the 80s style of hitting. You stomp our feet.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just the way it was back then. That's how you would hit. You'd always stomp your foot when you hit. Give that ring sound.
And we have another comment, Crusher.
Can you turn down the match volume a bit? It's kind of hard to hear you. Oh, okay. Wow. Is that better? Let us know if that's better. Hope they can hear us better now.
Right.
I'm hoping that's better. Grizzly got hurt. Okay, I say it's perfect now.
Referee didn't see it. It's no use to try and complain now. Stevens is down for the count. He is down for the count.
I wonder what happened to this blue canvas, though, because when me and Troy got the ring back from Ernie when they were done then, because we ended up getting this ring back.
You only had the tarp.
We had a light blue tarp, not the dark blue tarp. So the tarp changed. I wonder what happened to this tarp. I'm just curious. It's interesting.
Well, I know Ernie ended up getting another ring, and I'm wondering if he saved the canvas for that ring.
Maybe he did. Oh, here's an interesting question. Wrestle Hype, just stopping by to say keep up with the fitness journey, bud. As someone whose next match is always my last match, good to see I probably have dozens more left in the tank. Yeah, thanks very much. You know, a lot of the guys have been following me on my fitness updates and stuff. I do post them on, you know, Instagram and stuff, and, you know, kind of show where I'm at. And like the Wrestle Hype knows this. The more in shape you can get yourself in, as far as gym, lifting, whatever, the better, the smoother the wrestling is. Although there's still nothing that can replace actually getting in a ring, because the abuse you take in a wrestling match, you know, that's what they call it ring rust for a reason.
Yep.
I don't want to say too much, but let me just say that. And then it says, next time you're over in Northern Ireland, I'll be sure to get a few graps in with you at the training facility. Yeah, hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. I'm really looking forward to that. I enjoyed it when I was there last time. And, you know, it's I love it over there. I like the way, you know, the pro wrestling over there, and that's the other thing too. Pro wrestling in Northern Ireland and probably Europe in general, it's a little different, Dave, than it is over here. Like over here, in the indie scene and stuff, we really emphasize the heel and baby face. The heels are very prominent. They cheat, they do everything. They really establish the heel. The face then is a face and gets the proper sympathy when they need it and hope spots and everything else, right?
Right.
But in Europe, they do it a little differently. Like, it's not as, the heels aren't as that prominent, like cheating, outright cheating kind of. They do, but you know, it's more of a wrestling match. It's almost like more of a, well, they do a lot of chain, obviously, but it's more of a it feels more of a competition, it's hard to explain, but it's not like it is over here. It's not so like good guy, bad guy, definite black and white.
Right.
What I'm trying to say. They do. They have their heels and they have their faces, but it's just, I don't know. It's just hard to explain. It's hard for me to put it in words, but it kind of, what it reminds me of is old school style a little bit. A little more old school style as far as the matchups and stuff.
I see Larry's not wearing the tearaway pants anymore.
Nah, he got rid of them. This whole look, though, Larry at the head, you know, I know look, 1988, of course, you're going to have that look, but he's just trying to be like he always thought he was going to be the next Hulk Hogan, you know? He wasn't quite big enough, though. He was big.
He looks like he's trying to be a cross between Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior.
Right.
Now, is that Silo Sam?
That's not Silo. He showed up, but not at this taping. That's Godzilla, another big guy, though.
Yeah.
It's super new and super green.
Oh, boy, 2 greenhorns.
Well, no, Larry's a little bit more seasoned now. I mean, I know we like to rip on Larry, but he's a little bit better here. But yeah, Godzilla. And Jeff Dinsmore is telling me today Godzilla's dropped a bunch of weight. Like, he and I is pretty heavy. It's like really super thin now, I guess.
7.25, Chris.
These days. But yeah, the Godzilla, big guy. I remember the paper was out there doing a story on us in this particular taping, and they had me get a picture of Godzilla giving me a headlock in the middle of the ring for the paper. I've got that paper still.
Yeah.
Yeah, that made the cover for the story. And they were talking about how Godzilla, showing the size difference between me and Godzilla, because he was a big guy. But like I said, very, very, very green, very new. There wasn't a lot you could do with him. Larry did the best he could, but
which I'm sorry, with Larry isn't a whole lot.
Dave, I can't blame Dave for the comments on Larry because Larry is not a popular guy with our story. He's just not.
He's got to use that energy so he can get back to his feet and get an advantage.
At this point in time, you guys, I'm on my way to the hospital because my cut was so big, I had to go get stitches. So here I am in my wrestling gear. Went to the emergency room at, gosh, I can't remember the name of the hospital. It's right down the road, though.
Unity, probably.
Yeah, Unity, I think. Anyways, I'm there. A guy next to me was stabbed in the back because he's trying to catch a shoplifter. Got stabbed in the back. So he was stabbed. I had this big gash on my forehead. We waited in that emergency room for hours. So at least a couple hours before I finally got in. And then I'm in my wrestling gear, and the doctor says, "What happened?" I said, "Well, what was I going to say? I took a razor blade and cut myself? No." So I said, "I think I got my head hit in the turnbuckle and the wire was hanging out and cut my forehead." It sounded good. The doctor looked at it and he's like, "Well, that's a pretty fine cut if that's how it happened, but tell you what, we'll take care of it." And he stitched it up. Because I was afraid if I said I did this, I thought maybe the insurance wouldn't cover. I mean, who knows? So I just didn't want to get screwed up that way and have to pay for this thing out of pocket.
Right.
So anyways, that's what I did. And my whole thing was, well, let's just get it done, Doc, and get done. I got to get back because I wanted to do my second match. I just want to get this stitched up, get back, and get in the ring again.
Yep.
And then when I got back, they were tearing the ring down. I missed the whole damn thing. So that's the story there. Yeah, I do. When we come up, here, I'll bring the comment in. Demon says, "I can't tell. Did you get a scar from your cut?" I did. I still have the scar, and I'll show you. It's right here, right in the middle of my forehead. Dave always says you should have done the hairline. Well, what I should have done is not press so hard. That was the mistake. You know, we're using surgical blades, so they're super sharp. You don't need to do, and you know what? That's another thing, guys. Thank God they don't do color anymore like they used to. I will say that. It's not, I look back at that, and yeah, we wanted to do it because that was the thing back then, but so foolish.
You know, you had guys like Flair and Rhodes that did it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, wrestling doesn't need to have color. And if they're going to do color, they don't. Why do they have to do it by cutting them? So there's other ways to get the blood. Like, Hitman Hernandez came in and Pearl Harbored Luscious Larry. What do you think about that, huh?
Yep.
This is like the kind of the feud we were going for. The Hitman Hernandez versus Luscious Larry build-up is what we were going for here. It was a good feud.
Oh, I know the answer to Wayne's next question. Didn't they do this as kind of like a time killer?
But no, they were just doing this because they were building up a Luscious Larry versus Hitman Hernandez for the next show.
Ah.
Yeah, so the next show that's going to feature them two going at, one-on-one. Yeah, we came back from the commercial break, and then they're just showing the aftermath of how Larry got attacked. Yeah. Hitman was a good promo guy too. Like if he ever gets a chance to talk on the mic, let's see if they interview him here, and then we'll get to Wayne's comment. Let's see.
And this is the result. Luscious Larry is hurt, and hurt badly. And we may need some help getting him out of here. It looks like he's got serious damage done to the rib cage.
Larry's selling it well.
Oh my! The fans giving him a round of applause.
Larry had the good look, man. If he just would have listened to me, we could have done so much more with Luscious Larry. You know that, Dave? Right. I hate to sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I did at the time. There you are, Dave. See, you're there in the white shirt.
Yep.
So you were there, Dave.
Well, I was one of those people that, if there was wrestling around, I'd be there.
There's Jamie McCarlin just rocked in the camera.
Yep.
All right, let's get to Wayne's comment. Did they give Waltman your match while you were in the hospital?
No, Waltman was not even in the picture yet.
I don't think he was in the wrestling business yet. 88? Maybe just starting out. I think he started in 89 though, didn't he? Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah. Look at the 80s hairdos.
Oh, I know.
And terrible Tom Tyler. Ice Dragon, Chris Logan, and Tom Tyler.
It's an interesting combination. It's going to be a 6-man tag, I believe. And there's Dixie Dave, guys.
Yep.
Kind of just doing some ring, leading them out to the security work or whatever, I guess. Ice Dragon. Chris Logan.
The Bounty Hunter, and Dion Dallas.
Yeah. I should have.
Because Dredd was wanting to borrow my boots again.
Yeah, because he has your boots on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, you're helping, there with Tim. Makes sense.
Okay, we're back. Dr. Dredd.
So Dr. Dredd, that's Jeff Dinsmore. Dion Dallas, wiry guy, but good.
I haven't seen before, Chris, the Bounty Hunter.
Really good there. That's the guy in the black. He was in amateur wrestling as well, so he had some amateur wrestling abilities. And the Bounty Hunter, which the guy in the red there, just getting started though. Tim, right there in the camera, he was good. He had been at it for a long time.
Oh yeah. By this point, Tim had been wrestling for like 4 years.
3-4 years, yeah. And Ice Dragon as well is a couple years in, 2 to 3 years himself. So.
Damn, those boots look good.
And actually, Ice Dragon's got my boots on him. Just noticed that.
You know, it wasn't that long ago that Dr. Dredd was one of the most feared and ruthless men in wrestling. And although he's fighting for these so-called forces of good now, he's not lost any of that knowledge.
Dr. Dredd's character is kind of like a Mad Dog Vachon.
He's one of the meanest guys.
That's who he was kind of basing it off of. He was a Mad Dog Vachon in a mask, basically.
Yeah. Well, he had to wear a mask to hide his identity.
Oh yeah, obviously, but the character, that's who he's trying to be.
That did not do any good.
Kind of a vicious,
Dredd's got one of the hardest in the country, and that proved it right there.
tough as nails kind of character.
Oh, he's hooked up in the ropes. He's hooked in the ropes. Look out. Oh, and a knee smash to the midsection. And the Ice Dragon is let down.
He takes advantage wherever he can get it. That's part of Dredd's style.
There's a comment. I guess we should not lose them. Northside says, I know AIDS started in the 80s. Did you know about it then? Was there any worry about blood in the ring from anyone else? Yeah, well, everyone, I know I heard of AIDS back then, but never, ever thought or worried about it because the AIDS epidemic wasn't that widespread at this point. It wasn't that big of a deal.
And at the time, this is just the thought process back then. AIDS was more in the homosexual community than...
Right. And so we never thought of it much and wasn't really a concern. It makes me wonder if that's why color got away from wrestling, Dave, was because of AIDS. I bet it was. Because people just didn't want to catch anything.
Right.
Yeah.
It's probably why Flair only got color with people that he knew.
Right.
It really makes you wonder about people like Carlos Colon, Abdullah the Butcher.
It is very wise. He's got to take some time now, as long as.
Well, apparently Abdullah gave somebody his disease, whatever he has.
I heard hepatitis.
Hepatitis, yeah. So Chris Logan coming in, the blonde-haired kid here. I think he's 16. I know you guys all want to know the ages.
Yep.
He's 16. Just starting out. I've worked with him quite a bit, getting him ready. He had. I always thought he had a lot of potential. Reminded me of a young Tommy Rich. He had that look.
Yep.
He had that wildfire kind of image to him that, you know, he was kind of our Tommy Rich, really. And he was pretty good. Good hand in there. But still very new and very green, you know. Remember, old school, though, guys, is a lot different than it is now. The technique, the style, the moves. It wasn't the training, everything. It was just, it's not like it is today. So for all you guys watching that are saying that maybe are wrestlers, and like, oh my gosh, they're not doing this right. They're not doing that right. It wasn't fine-tuned like that, like it is today. It just
only thing that I see wrong with what they're doing here that was being done back then is they're not playing to the camera like they should.
Yeah, but even that wasn't that much thought of. Not in the indie scene anyway, because you didn't have things getting filmed all the time. But yeah, that, you know, where your main camera is a big deal now in indie shows. You want to know where your main camera is. But here we have 3 cameras catching everything simultaneously live, so that really, there wasn't like a main camera. You had 3 cameras catching everything. So the idea is you just want to you know, sell the match. But notice the selling. You didn't sell by looking at the crowd. You sold by showing like it was real. So like now they want you to be looking at the crowd and really showing the agony on your face and everything. You want to sell the fact that you're in pain. You want the crowd to see it to get your sympathy.
Right.
Well, back then, the idea is this is real. If this is real, I'm not going to show my face to the crowd. I'm going to have my head down trying to protect myself, whatever the case may be, because I'm getting the crap kicked out of me. I wanted to make it believable. Being it believable wouldn't be putting my chin up and face up to show myself.
Right.
So that's how I mean. Wrestling has changed, is what I'm trying to say. So it's not, you know, it's evolved. It's really now played to the, we really, you know, you want to play to the crowd now much more than we ever did back in these days.
Right.
So yeah, these 2 guys, Dion in the ring, he had a really good clothesline, and so did Thandar. I think we're going to see him here. Notice Dion's boots, he's got the skull.
Yep.
Yeah. So Dion ordered his own boots. B-Bar A Boot Company, Arkansas. That's where we got our wrestling boots from in those days. The only place in the country that I knew of that made them.
Right. That's where Eddie hooked us up with. And
yeah. And he also hooked us up with the place that did wrestling tights and masks and everything too. That's where we started getting all our masks from, all our wrestling tights.
Well, that's where most guys got their gear from. I couldn't afford the stuff from.
Yeah, it wasn't cheap. Here comes one of those clotheslines by Dion, I think.
Oh, there's where the intense look came from.
Yep. Yeah. Dion had those facial expressions. He was good. Thandar gives him a receipt on that, though. Watch for it here. It's coming. Tim ain't going to let that go.
No. That's one thing about Tim. If you got stiff with him, he'd give you the receipt for it.
I think it does a nice front roll. Yeah. To get the ducket. Boom. Yeah. Believe you me, after seeing Tim get taken, you can be rest assured that he just gave it just as hard back to Dion.
Oh, yeah.
If not harder.
That's the thing about Tim. You cross him. Okay. Back up about Thandar. Because out of anybody in the NWF, I've known Thandar the longest.
Yeah.
I knew Thandar long before. I knew Thandar before the NWF was even a thing.
Right.
And, you know, he's one that could be your best friend or your worst enemy. Make him how you want him. And if you were on Tim's bad side, no coming back.
And he had a temper. Tim had a temper. if you just don't want to get him in a bad mood like that with his temper, as his temper will take over.
I would have hated to seen a shoot between Slick and Tim.
Yeah, Steenerson was another one that you didn't see it very much with Troy, but when you did, he was vicious. I mean, Troy could be he'd take on anybody.
Yeah,
he was mad. He didn't, and he would wreck you. Troy would. He would wreck you.
Like I said,
he got suspended from school for a week from beating somebody up in gym class in Fred Moore.
Yeah,
because the kid did something to Troy that crossed Troy, and it was justified. What Troy did was justified in the eyes of us, but he got suspended for it. I mean, this kid was out of line. I can't remember how it went, but I remember Troy was in the right. And like Troy didn't start it, but Troy finished it.
That's got to be it. 2 and 3, and that's it. Ring the bell.
you know, like I said, I would have hated to have seen something go down between Troy and Tim.
Yeah.
It would not have been a pretty sight.
No.
Your winners in the 6-man tag match.
This is uncommon for baby faces, but see, Fred is not exactly a baby face though. He's kind of
Fred
a heel.
was more of a tweener.
Yeah, exactly.
There is total mayhem. Nobody can control
He still did his heel breaking tactics even when he was a baby face.
Yeah.
Right on his head. Out of control. There's Dixie Dave trying to figure out what the hell's going on here.
But they're the winners nonetheless. Dr. Dread, the Bounty Hunter, and Dion Dallas. We're going to be right back, and when we come back, it's the main event.
The Destructors versus your favorite, Pretty Boy Taylor and Ravishing Rusty Rose, Dave.
We know my feelings on Steve.
Okay,
That's all I'm going to say.
You can see how low the ceiling height is in here for us. Like, very few of us could go off the top rope. I could barely do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the NWF main event. This is a tag team match.
Big crowd. I think Jeff said at the beginning of the show it was the largest crowd we ever had at the Dri-Dock.
Yeah.
And as many people as you see this in here, there was another just as many in the other part where the bar is watching on closed circuit in the other part of the Dri-Dock. That was packed over there too.
Yep.
That's that guy in the gray, the kid there in the gray jacket doing all that.
Yeah.
That's Ernie's son. That's the one that's in wrestling
Sam?
right now. That's Sam. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, just a small guy there, but
Yeah.
and Damien says, Dave, we don't like Steve either. So there you go.
Well, you know, it's justified that you don't like him. If not for Steve, who knows where the NWF would have gone.
So Sports Tech says, did your mom know you bladed yourself? Was she with you at the hospital? So no, what happened was this. First of all, I wasn't living with my mom at the time. My parents were divorced, and at the time I was living with my dad in Richfield. I never told anybody that, like my dad or mom or anybody, that I used a razor blade. That would not have went over. So as they understood it, I actually got busted open by accident. It was an accident and I got cut open. That's all they knew.
Right.
My mom wasn't at the hospital. What happened was I was in the back in the room, and I realized that the cut I couldn't get it to stop bleeding. So the guys knew I had to go to the hospital, and then Chris Downs, the Ice Dragon's mom, she was there. She knew I needed to get to the hospital. She wasn't a nurse, but she knew I needed to get to the hospital, so she offered to drive me to the hospital. Chris Downs' mom, Ice Dragon's mom.
Right.
So her and Jay Downs was in the crowd watching. He wasn't wrestling anymore. That's the Fly.
The Fly.
So the Fly and Chris Downs' mom, and of course Jay Downs is Chris's brother. Them two drove me to the hospital and waited with me in the waiting room and everything. So, and then brought me back.
Right.
Chris's mom, Chris Downs' mom, you know, Ice Dragon was a live wire, right? We all talk about it in the past. He was kind of a hard to handle guy. His mom was totally different. His mom was like complete caring, like would do anything for you. Like she was very, And not that Chris isn't today, but like Chris was just at that age, he was like that. But his mom was always super nice. Like she always liked me. I never had any, and I still remember the fact that she gave me the ride to the hospital.
If I remember correctly right now, Steve is reading me the riot act about taking care of his jacket.
Yeah. You see, this is what I don't like about Steve. He's being the tough guy. He should have been the chicken shit heel, not the tough guy heel.
Right.
Steve, you don't have the body to be the tough guy heel. Tough guy heels in this day and age, somebody your size and that, you should be a chicken shit heel,
Right.
not a tough guy.
And I'm going to go on with the next comment. Yes, Sam did eventually become the Mad Russian, and he was also the Patriot Mark IV.
Yeah. It's no surprise Sam got into it. Look, he's watched this wrestling ever since he was at that age, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a surprise that he got into it.
You know, most wrestlers' kids do. I mean,
yeah.
My son has thought about getting into it. You know, my daughters wish that they could have gotten into it.
Yeah. A lot of people, though, want to get into it, but then when they realize how tough it is,
right?
It's abuse to your body, guys. I'm telling you, it's abuse to your body. It's not like a picnic.
I mean, from my time in wrestling, I've got my fair share of aches and pains.
Yeah.
You got a man down, you don't let him up. Referee trying to back him off. I'm not sure that's going to do any good right now.
Taylor is not too happy about that. Now here comes Ravish. Get out of here! Get out of here! Rusty doing his job. He's got the restrict.
This Ravishing
yeah, they do have tag ropes. I just saw the referee tell him.
I seen it too. The Ravishing Rusty, though, is Taylor's partner. He said he got him from down south. He was a wrestler from down south. This guy, first of all, he didn't have a southern accent. He showed no signs of any wrestling skill whatsoever. None. Not that we any, I know we were rough around the edges back in these days, but I'm telling you that you watch this Ravishing Rusty when he's in the ring. If you ever see him in the ring, if you notice, Steve's the one always in the ring. All this Rusty is a prop in the corner.
Steve liked the spotlight on him.
He did, but like you'd never hardly see Rusty in the ring, and there's a reason for that, because he didn't know what the hell to do.
You know, I think we watched another show that Steve and Rusty tagged on, and we said we think Steve just picked him up at a bar down the road and said, "Come with me."
You got the right look. I need a tag partner, and Steve was a good bumper, though. No doubt about that. No, I gotta get this comment off.
Isn't that cute?
Everybody always questions, what the hell is that hair spot on Steve's back? Big old hair spot. It was a birthmark, and because it was a big birthmark, it grew hair. It's weird. I asked Steve once, I said, what the hell is that? Why is that hair there? That's what he said. It's a birthmark.
I thought maybe you tried some hair growth stuff
and spilt it on his back.
Yep.
Oh, the things Jason Crossen would come up with commentating was funny. I think he's built some hair growth formula on his back. It's always a topic of discussion, though. And Chaos should have killed him.
Yeah.
Again, Steve, you're not a tough guy.
I mean, look at Steve's arms compared to.
Yes. This is like, I know hindsight's 2020, but man, I can't stand this. You know, to see Steve doing this because you're. Yeah. Where do I go? Where do I begin with this?
You know, Steve didn't know his own gimmick.
Yeah. He was trying to be somebody he shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
He was so good at being he had the mouth of Bobby Heenan. If he just would have played the chicken shit heel, he would be so much more over than he ever was. But You know, the fact that he's wearing gold trunks.
Yeah.
Why would you want to have the Hogan look? You don't look like Hulk Hogan.
Looks like a variation of a sleeper hold.
Right.
I
Am I right
don't
or am I
know.
right?
Yeah.
No, it's across the chin, Chris. Although I wouldn't be surprised if it slides down into it.
Now he slowed it in. Slid it in.
Well, without any chance for distraction, we've yet to see you ravishing Rusty.
Yeah, we've yet to see Rusty. I don't think we'll see Rusty.
Chaos, not about to
No,
give
it wouldn't
up.
surprise me.
Like we've been saying, this kid is very impressive.
Starting to get up from it.
Oh, now he's sunk it.
Every tag match we get, Rusty's hardly ever in the ring. If he's in there, he's in there for one move and he's out.
Yep.
If even that. And that's where I knew something was up.
It looks like it is a sleeper hold. He raises Chaos's arm once.
I'm not, look, I might have not been the brightest bulb myself back in these days, but I knew something was up with this guy.
Yeah.
Especially when he didn't have a southern accent. It's like, I said, Steve, where'd this guy come from? He goes, oh, I picked him up from down south. When I went down south, and I'm like, where, to Mankato? You know, he's talking about Missouri. He went down to Missouri somewhere. And nah. The thing with Steve, though, you got to remember, Steve was a great bumper. But one thing with Steve, he was full of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
He
Steve
had
was a
the
con,
art
not a
of-
wrestler.
Oh, yeah. He had the art to bullshit. You never knew what to believe out of him. The match come along. I mean, Steve was doing well here, selling well for the Destructors. I wish he would have kept doing this because the next show we do, Steve and Rusty wrestled the Destructors and they treat him like a squash job.
Yeah.
When Steve can sell like that, why would you? Oh, don't even get me started.
Yeah. As you notice, when Steve's on camera, I'm quiet. You know, Mama always said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
When you have the ability that Steve has to bump as well as he does and sell as well as he does, February 16th, 88, guys. But you can bump as good as he can sell. That's what you showcase in your match. You put the other guys over as best you can with that because you're going to make that match memorable by doing it like he just did here in this one.
Right.
But then he figures he's not going to do it again. Yeah. We'll see that match when we watch that Dri-Dock episode and coming up here and then a future rewind. You'll see what I'm talking about. But let's see, something got the scar. The scar. So you kind of see that line on my forehead.
1 second.
Well, you can see it there. See that line in the middle of my forehead? That's the scar we're talking about.
Well, what I was going to say is go full screen.
Oh, I guess I could do that. Yeah, so you can kind of see it's kind of prominent. Like if I get in the right, there it is. Get the right angle. It's right there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's actually better than it used to be, much more prominent. And over the years, it's kind of gotten a little bit better. But yeah, that's it. So there you see the scar. And just didn't need to do that. I'm like I said, I'm so glad the juicing thing is kind of a thing they just don't do it anymore hardly at all, you know, and it's a good thing, I think.
Well, like if they do it the hard way.
Yeah. When you see color, it's usually like it happened, and then because it happened, they go with it.
Yeah.
It wasn't intended, but it did. You know?
I mean, I remember a match between Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton where neither one of them had a blade on them.
Yeah.
And Brock got color out of Randy.
Right. Sometimes it just happens. In fact, I just had a match in Northern Ireland where Sage got busted open. And he had a bunch of color. So you never know when that's going to happen. But it, like Dave just said, you know, those kind of things happen, but it's happening the hard way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I got a question for everybody. You know, what do you guys think of this new time and day? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
Saturdays? I mean, yeah, it's I kind of like it, honestly, Dave. It's, you know, a Saturday. I don't know. I'm kind of curious what the crowd thinks, though. Let's see what they think. Do they like Saturdays? Gizmo says, you have a childhood trophy to remember your wrestling days. Yeah, I had that scar for a long time, and it was one of those things where, you know, a lot of people would be an old story like, yeah, I got this scar from wrestling, and it was like a good old storytelling campfire thing. Well, that actually was where I got it.
Right.
That's not a campfire story. That's the real thing. And Sports Video says, the question is for both of you. Knowing what you know now, if you had a son now, would you want to let them go into wrestling? So, Dave, you have a son.
Yeah. And if things were worked out better, I wouldn't have minded letting him get into the business.
What if he was 12?
I would have had to look into the promotion, you know.
What if he wanted to start his own thing?
Well, you know, I'd explain to him what work it was, and he would have to be dedicated to it. You know, I've not hid from my son what I did.
Right.
You know.
Well, if I had a son, 100% yes. If he wanted to, I wouldn't force him to, but if he wanted to, I would absolutely support him, and I wouldn't want to do it for him either. I'd want to just be there for support, just like my dad was.
Right.
But I'd let him take the bull by the horns, and because I know how that works, you know.
Right.
He has to make it his own. It can't be the adults doing it for you.
Right.
Although I would probably look over it a little bit better than we were looked over, just to make sure everything's going smoothly.
Yeah.
Kind of like a bird's eye view of everything, where we didn't have that necessarily. So here's what they're saying. It works. The time and day is good. This time works. Friday or Saturday is fine. The show is worth the day and time. So everybody seems to like this day. I know it's kind of nice in a way. It's kind of nice in a way for you though, Dave. It's kind of nice because then it gives you your days off.
Right. But there is some stuff coming up that Saturdays aren't going to work for me. I just want to make sure for right now that everything was good with everybody.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Do you guys not like Thursdays? I'm curious if they don't like Thursdays. I'm just curious if that's an issue or not.
And of course, we've got the time delays for them to respond.
Yeah. This comment out. While we're waiting to see what they think of that, I'm going to talk about what's coming up. Oh, you know what I forgot to do while they're thinking of that? Guess what we forgot to do? We forgot to show what's coming up on the Video Network.
I know. I was going to say.
So, guys, this is what's coming up on the Video Network at the end of the month here. Looks like we're going back to the Group W Cable Studios. Here we go, guys.
Yep.
Whoops, sorry. We're not going back to Group W Cable Studios. We're going to Fred Moore Junior High on the Video Network. Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Tony. Ooh, pile driver there.
Oh, right into the knee of Sergeant Smash.
Then his tag team partner was. Oh, nice souffle, yeah. Wow. Or Schwip. And, flying. Yes. Conan is back in control with Thunder. Oh, the snake. It looks like, look at Thunder. He has him. Nice slam there.
For the march.
His opponent entering the ring right now. We have Rattlesnake Jake.
Little Jake right there would be hot in that big.
Oh, what is that? It's some kind of foreign object in there. Disqualified. We have the bell. Look at that. Oh, gee, oh, what a monster.
NWF action. Stop the call, boy.
This match has gone totally out of control. We'll be facing Corporal Crossen, and oh, but Tokyo Terror comes on strong. Looked almost like a punch to the face there. Irish whip. Ooh! Now into the turnbuckles. Oh, it looks like, oh, and a devastating shot to. Ooh, another elbow, and another. 3. This match has gone totally out of hand. This just gone nuts. The champions, the Mr. X1 and Mr. X2, taking on the Russian Destroyers.
One of the other teams that are fighting, one of them always seem to come out when they're in trouble. Look at that.
Yeah.
Somebody get them bums back in here. I want them right now, man. Let's get back in here. Come on, there's time on the clock, you morons.
All right, December 1st.
Yep.
Fredmore Junior High. Seen a lot of guys in there. Slick Steenerson, I noticed. Tokyo Terror.
The X's.
The X's.
Barbarians.
So let's see. Here's what we got on the comments, Dave, on as far as Thursday. Wayne says he likes Thursdays better, but Saturday does work. Well, Saturday is only going to be for the December, really. I think honestly, Dave, our January show that I talked about that I thought might need to be a Saturday, that might be able to be Thursday because I believe Thursday is a holiday. It's the 1st.
Yeah.
New Year's Day, which everybody's off. So I think we'll be okay there.
Right.
So we'll see. And then we have a lot of events on Thursday. Yes, I know Gizmo and them sometimes Thursdays doesn't always work. Damien says Saturday is better than Thursdays for the holidays. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But however, Christmas week, it's going to be me and Ricky, which will be on Forward, which will be the day after Christmas. And you guys are going to want to tune into that one because Jamie McParland is going to be our guest on that show. And that'll be interesting
a good one.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to have Jamie with on that one. Sports Video says I like Saturday. Yeah. Thursdays are better for me, but Saturday works too. So yeah, so kind of a mixed bag. Bag. I want to talk about too before we do go away. I want to talk about, and by the way, guys, make sure you subscribe to us. For those of you just tuning in on our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, like this video too. If you guys haven't done already, go and like it because the likes really help us. So make sure you give us a like. I mean, that really does help get more views. The more likes we get, the more placement YouTube will do. So you really got to like the videos, including these live streams. Just gets better placement when you do. And then what we have coming up. Okay, this is what we got coming up on our shows. I get rid of the comment. There you go. And get rid of the logo for now. There we go. So that way the banners show up better. So coming up next Friday, less than a week from now already, we got Mark and Mackay. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Mackay?
Micah, maybe?
Micah. Yeah, it's Micah. You're right. Why am I butchering it? Mark and Micah Martinez? Is that Martinez? How would you say that, Dave?
Martins. You can ask them when they come on.
Yeah, I know I might be butchering it, guys, and I'm sorry if I am. Father-son combo here. They're both with Primo's Premier Wrestling, the father-son combo. It's going to be interesting to hear about these two. So this is the young man that Daryl was talking about when we had him on Forward that is training with the juniors over there and now is training with the adults as well. So he's well on his way. And it's that young kid up there. So this will be a great interview, and this is going to be in a week. And so I'm looking forward to this one. Should be a good show. That's going to be with me and Ricky, the Globetrotter. See his new picture now with me. And of course, that's Crusher Crossen and really good physical shape, as you can see, with the NWF Championship. You bet. And then we've got what Dave and I got coming up 2 weeks from today, Saturday again. We've got Group W Cable Studio Taping 31.
I see what Gizmo was talking about updating your photo.
Oh, on this thing, yes. What the heck? I got updated here too.
Got to update both of our photos.
Yeah, I don't have it. You don't give me a picture, Dave. You got to give me a picture to update yours. But
well, you just took a screenshot last time.
Yeah, but those are muddy. I'd like a proper picture. And mine's not a screenshot. Mine's an actual picture. So
yeah,
it looks better. But anyways, that's Brian Peterson smashing me with the folding chair. I'm going to tell you something. When Brian hit you with the chair, he hit you with the chair.
Right.
It's the reason Mike Ackerman got a goosebump and almost a damn near concussion from it. And it was because of Brian with those chair shots that we had to do an automatic disqualification if anybody brought a chair in the ring.
Well, that's the way it should be in wrestling.
Yeah, we actually was for real. Because out of hand. So yeah, and this is in the Group W Cable Studios with that makeshift ring in the early days. This is the kind of show, Dave, where Ricky Henry will swoop in to mock and make fun of me. I know he'll do this. He's going to do that.
If Ricky wants to join us live, he's more than welcome.
He'll wait for a show like this, just like Tony, to get under my skin, is what he's going to do.
Yep.
I know it.
So, Tony, if you're out there and you watch this, make sure to watch in 2 weeks. Ricky, I know you watch these shows. I know you love seeing your hero, Dixie Dave.
I don't know if he watches the whole shows, but he definitely watches the shorts.
So,
that I post.
Jump on in, Ricky.
Yep. And I don't know. I still think the kid's a coward. He's just afraid to show up and rewind because, he's out of his element. Forward, he feels he has a comfort zone. He thinks he's in control. He thinks he's in control. Yeah, but on rewind, he knows he's like the fifth wheel, and he's a coward. He's an absolute
Ricky,
coward.
You're always welcome to join me.
Dave, you keep hounding, wanting Ricky to come on. Oh, Ricky, can you please join me? Ricky, will you come on with me? Look, the kid's a coward. He's afraid. He's ducking and dodging me, and he's ducking and dodging this show as well.
He's not ducking and dodging. What it is he's trying to save from getting the migraine of dealing with you.
Migraine. Yep. But yeah, and by the way, for those of you who did join us on Instagram, hopefully you came out. I forgot to mention that Instagram viewers need to come over to YouTube, and streams ended, but
yeah,
And then I know Sports Talk. I know you're a fan of Ricky. You always want to say he's going to kick my ass and everything, but say, come on, Crusher. Ricky is the star of the show. And he thinks he is, but why? But I want to know, Sports Talk, why will Ricky not agree to fight me in a match? Because he just is never.
I've answered that a million times.
In this business of him being afraid of getting arrested as a senior citizen, I will sign a waiver. He won't get arrested. He won't get in trouble. And I've said I would sign that waiver.
Those waivers, the Ireland laws may be different. And
you're really grasping at straws, aren't you?
No, I'm not grasping at straws. Sometimes waivers don't mean squat.
Well, let's just say this. For sure, they'll definitely do a shoot. And, is Ricky going to be able to beat Crusher in a shoot when I'm hell-bent on beating him? We'll see about that. When I say shoot, we're talking regular grappling. It's not going to be like a fight, but I will definitely do what I can to embarrass him. And he, and I'm sure he's going to try to do the same. So that should be fun. But, and I know the guys said too that they like seeing Ricky and I out of character, and we'll give you more of that. But just know that with our storylines and stuff with Forward and everything, we will be in character more so going forward. Just so you know, I'm giving you a heads up right now. It's just part of the strategies right now. So just know that. But Ricky and I do, you know, I told Ricky a long time ago that some of our better shows have come with his real personality. So he knows that. So he will definitely, you know, do that. And I like you guys to see that, because that's the Ricky that I know and talk to a lot, and that you guys never get to see. So it's good that he does that now and then on the podcast. So
right.
You got to remember though, Ricky's favorite part about wrestling is the drama. So he enjoys that more than anything, more than the bumping and everything. He enjoys the drama part of it. So for him to come on this podcast and be in his character, it's really what he loves to do.
Right.
So you have to give him his space for that. He needs that because that's his favorite thing. So, and remember, you know, he's a heel, so he wants you to treat him like a heel. You know, he loves that stuff. He's spun. You know, when you're a heel, you want the heat. Why do you think when we did our thing with Ben Nelson, when I wholeheartedly apologized to Ricky, and Ricky just said he'd love to hear it and he wants to accept my apology, but I can't. And he said it so cold-heartedly because he knew he would get heat. And that's why he loves it. The story's supposed to go in a happy fairy tale ending. No, Ricky wants to take that away. That's what a heel wants to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, during my time in wrestling, I was a tweener. Sometimes I was babyface, sometimes I was heel. It's fun playing the heel. You know, I don't need, yay, you're the best.
Right. Right.
You know,
it's true. And then here's an interesting comment. Gizmo says, we need to see a behind the scenes video to see what it takes to put up a show like this. Well, there's really not a lot of behind the scenes interaction so much. A little bit. Basically what happens if Ricky's on time, sometimes Ricky's late and we don't have time to talk, but if he comes in a little bit early, which I really wish he would do more often, so we have at least 5 or 10 minutes, because it's nice to go over things. When you see us start 10 minutes late, it's because he came in late, or sometimes we get carried away talking. Like that's what was last time. But a lot of times it's because he's just running late, and then we have to go over a few things before we go on the air. And it's usually just stuff that we got to make sure we talk about, or make sure we cover, or make sure that's what Ricky and I usually talk about. We're like, okay, so I need, you know, we're going to get into this, we're going to get into that. When we start doing our storyline stuff and we get in character, we just bullet point what we're going to do. We don't memorize it. We don't memorize it though. So we like say, okay, this is what we're going to have happen. This is what's going to go on. So we have a blueprint of what we're going to do. And then we fill in the gaps as we go. So
see, whereas like Crusher and I, we don't even really do bullet points. We're going to open the show. We're going to just go and see what we do.
Sometimes we do. Sometimes we talk about, we might say there's certain things we're going to talk about, and we talk about it. But
you know, you let me know when Ricky's got something coming up, if we need to cover it or
But a lot of what I do now, I've got a system now. Like I usually, every time I restore videos, I get the rewind watch along done and ready to go. So it's already in the bucket, ready to go. I get the graphics done up ahead of time, ready to go, so that when we get to this week, I have everything done. Before, when we first started doing the show, I had to create that stuff the week of, and it was a pain. So now, as I restore stuff, I have everything ready for the watch along, graphic wise, all that stuff. And so it makes it a little more smoother to get the studio set up and everything, and do our, you know, we also do all our Instagram ads and run those every week for shows, and the shorts. And the shorts are really important both on Instagram and YouTube, because it gets interest to our channel. So the YouTube shorts are nice because they draw people into our channel. Then they see, you don't know how many times I've got comments from people saying, God, I'm so glad I found you on the shorts, because now I see you guys have all the whole catalog. So, and then they realize we have a whole podcast. And so, and a lot of people, again, though, guys, just so you know, most people tune in and rewind and watch us and what do we call it?
Watch the replays.
Replays, right. So they see it replays. They don't necessarily see it live. Just the way it is. Not much we can do there. And by the way, I don't know if Wayne's still out there in the crowd, but we got to get with McGraw. I know McGraw wanted to come on the show with us and talk about his stuff he did back in the day in Minnesota when he did his own promoting of wrestling and armories and stuff. And I think that would be a great conversation for us, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and, you know, to all those who watch us in replay, you got to come join live because we try not to miss any comment. We don't make you pay for us to respond to your comments. If we get a super chat, great. We don't, they're not a big deal.
And just so you know, with super chats, the way we don't get them very often, but when I do get them, whatever show I get them on, that's who gets the super chats. I just split it 50-50. So if a super chat came in with me and Dave would get half of it. That's how I do super chats. So the ones that Ricky got before he gets half of it. I think those super chats that Ricky got, and I know he appreciated it, I think it helped buy his new ring attire. His new look, yeah. Let's see, he says, or Northside says, we love your YouTube shorts. Yeah. Those are pretty easy. I just use Opus Clip, but I do them are kind of a pain too. I got to spend at least 3 or 4 hours making those every week.
Right.
Because Opus Clip makes them, but it's not what I want, and I got to go and edit them and make sure it's get everything in there. And sometimes it doesn't even get good talking points, and I have to find them and redo them, and it's not as smooth as it could be, but it's not bad.
Right.
And then Damien says, Dave, you look good and great tonight. Your lighting is good, and you were full of energy. See, I told you, Dave, you have a better look tonight. I told them that before we went on the air. The whole background and everything.
You know, here's the thing. When we do it on Saturdays, I get a night's rest before. When we do it on Thursdays, sometimes my sleep schedule is a little short.
Yeah, he just got done working a full week. So where now he already had his day off and he's going into work, for the week. So yeah, so it's catching him at a different time is different for him. And Wayne says, make it happen. Get Gator McGraw on your show. I know. I think what we'll do, Wayne, is probably wait. I think what we should do is wait till we do another outdoor taping. I think that's what you thought. Is this the guy you thought should come on for the outdoor taping, Wayne? If so, that's the one I should probably wait for, I would think. It would make sense. We do have an outdoor one coming up here, probably not till sometime in January, but I think that'll be the time when we get to it again.
Right.
Because we just did the outdoor one, so it'll take a while to get to it again. We cycle through all the things. Like now we're going back to Group W cable, so it's going to be Group W,
the garage,
Fred Moore, then outside. So that's going to be in 4 more shows where we'll have a outdoor one again. But I think that's the one that Wayne was trying to get for us initially when we were going to have somebody come on.
Right.
I think. Well, no. Wayne says no. You can get him on any show. So I guess we could put him on any show. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I think it'd be a little bit. But he said he did armories and stuff, so it'd be nice to have him on for something that was more like along what he did. But
right.
I would think. I don't know. Because we weren't doing armories at Group W cable.
Right.
Yeah. So you guys, Group W cable's coming up on our next show. I know you guys like that early stuff. I know the crowd's gonna love this one coming up. Ricky knows that I don't like seeing myself like that because me and Ricky are so competitive with the wrestling with each other, with our styles.
Right.
And so he knows that he knows that he can work me that way. So I wouldn't be shocked if Ricky shows up on a show like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because he just wants to get under my skin. That's what Ricky does.
And you know what? I'm going to say this right now. I hope Ricky not only jumps in the comments, but I hope he'll accept a guest link and jump on in.
Well, he knows how to do it. So, I mean, I'm sure if he can, he would. Like this is the chance for Ricky to come on because he could. Right? Doesn't have anything going on Sundays usually, I don't think, as far as having to get up for school or anything. So So he can, and then, you know, 1 o'clock in the morning is when we go on for him, which is a lot of times he's still up. So, you know, he's a teenager.
Yeah.
How many times, Dave, when we were teenagers, we stayed up till 2, 3 in the morning all the time. So,
And we'd be talking on the phone.
right. Yeah, it was just part of being a teenager.
That's
And
the thing about
remember,
you and I.
here's the thing, Dave, you got to remember with Ricky, he's 18. It's like being 21 here because at 18 in Ireland, they can drink.
Right.
They can go to the bar. He's like a regular full-blown adult.
Adult there.
Yeah. Damien says, you have to show Ricky's younger wrestling. This way he can't say anything about you. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
What time do you have to leave?
But yeah, you know, we should wrap up though.
Yep. Yeah,
you know, I got to be getting ready to head out. And...
we're at the end of the show. So I just want to show what I already did show what's coming up, right? So we're all caught up on that. Soldiers come up in the 2 shows. So we will be live again. Me and Ricky will be on Friday at the regular time with our guests from Primo's Premier Pro Wrestling. So join us for that. Should be great. Looking forward to that. And then Dave and I will be back in 2 weeks.
Yep. See you in 2 weeks.
Yep. See you then, folks.